So, after hearing everything we heard yesterday, and I posted on my community tab from Mike Brown, Duke Tobin, and from Zach Taylor, the question I keep seeing in my comic section is Bengals fans that are concerned that Joe Burrow is not signed yet. So, as the question in the title says, should Bengals fans be concerned that Joe Burrow is not signed yet? And the answer to that is 1000% no. You should not be concerned that he is not signed yet. Now, you got to keep in mind, guys, these things take time. It's not an overnight process. It's not a month, 2 month, 3 month, 4 month process. Now, every player takes a different amount of time. Some players can take 3 days to get a contract done, some 3 months, some a year. And it depends on the complexity of the contract, right? We heard Mike Brown talk about yesterday how the salary cap is like a pie. And every time you give a slice to somebody, you're taking part of that salary cap, and that's less salary cap for other players. And the summary of everything that he said was, in all summary purposes, is that Joe's going to get paid first. No one's getting a contract extension until Joe Burrow signs his name on the dotted line and that contract is done. Which makes sense because you got to think whatever Joe Burrow gets, right, out of all the players, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Logan Wilson, DJ Reader, Cheeto, extra, he's going to get the most money and contribute the most to taking that, as Mike Brown put it, slice of the pie. Now, him not signing yet has nothing to do, which again I see comments down below, with Mike Brown being cheap, Mike Brown not wanting to pay him, or Mike Brown trying to dodge, giving Joe Burrow money. It really just comes down to Joe's agent, the Bengals, and agreeing on a price. Which again, it might be as simple as a couple $1,000,000 off. But they want to agree and meet in the middle. And those things take time. It's not just okay, so I want to make $50 million a year for the next 5 years. There's incentives. There's things that Joe's agent's going to be arguing for. Hey, if we go win 2 Super Bowls, I want my guy to get more money. If he wins a certain amount of playoff games, I want him to make more money, right? There's 1,000 things that go into every single NFL contract that behind the scenes, whenever a player signs, we're like, oh, cool, they signed 5 years, $250 million deal. But then there's also incentives and a signing bonus and different bonuses depending on what they do. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of things that go into this. And the quarterback, that's the most difficult position to work a contract with. Lamar Jackson just got signed. When they started working on Lamar Jackson's contract? His second year in the NFL. It took them 3.5 years to get done Lamar Jackson's contract. And that goes for every quarterback. Now, based on what I understand, Jalen Hurts was a little bit easier. He kind of went in and it kind of just got done. But not every quarterback's like that. And when you get to the level of success of Joe Burrow, you got to keep in mind, this might not be a 5-year contract. This might be a 10-year contract. And if it's a 10-year, I promise you the Patrick Mahomes 10-year contract was not done in a month. It's not done in a couple months. Now, based on, again, I'm a newer Bengals fan, right? I don't have the history that I know a lot of you guys. Tell me down below. You've been Bengals fans 15, 20, 25 years. And I love to see that. And I can't wait till one day I can say that, right? But at the end of the day, the Bengals are going to try to get this done before training camp finishes. Based on everything I have heard, I have read, the sources I have, they're trying to get Joe Burrow's contract done before the end of the summer. Now, obviously, the end of summer, technically speaking, I believe is the end of July. So that's 6 days from now, right? Training camp is about to start. But before training camp finishes, that's when they want to get this contract done. Once they get this contract done, everything else, as Mike Brown says, just falls into place. Every piece of the pie now, we know what we're working with. And this is what I've been saying on this channel when it comes to, getting Joe Burrow's contract done. Once it's done, everything else goes into place. But no, there should not be any concern about this. And them not talking about it publicly is just the business respectful thing to do. That's just how it is, right? You work behind closed doors as business people. You go back and forth. And again, this contract might be closer to being done than we actually expect. They could already have agreed on the numbers per year, the whole contract. And right now they're just working on signing bonuses, guaranteed money, and that kind of stuff. Again, there's a lot of things that go into it. So that's kind of how everything I got from yesterday from Mike Brown and Duke Tobin and Coach Taylor around like all that kind of stuff, right? And I did talk about my video yesterday how, Mike, not video. I talked about my community tab, how Mike Brown said, Joe Mixon really helped out. He helped out immensely. And I said this in my video that, every dollar counts. Every single dollar that the Bengals save counts toward these other contracts. It's a pie. And the more you add to the pie, the more you can give the pie. So, yeah. So, I just want to make this video just to talk about that because I know a lot of Bengals fans are upset. They're scared. They're worried, like, what's going on? We just picked up a fifth-year option of Joe Burrow. Is he going to be on a contract anymore? Is he going to leave us? Like, what's going on? Is Mike Brown being cheap as molasses and refuses to pay him? No. I don't think Mike Brown, and as well, a lot of people say him being cheap, is changing anything here. I think this is just business. And it's just going to go back and forth. Justin Herbert still hasn't signed his contract or hasn't gotten a contract figured out with the Chargers. And it just comes down to that. There's a lot of things going on. We got to keep in mind also the time period right now. We're about to hit training camp. Training camp is right before preseason. Preseason, regular season, you're back in the thick of things, right? So, and that's why we saw that Joe Burrow, he showed up to training camp. There's no animosity. I think he would no matter what. But even if there was animosity, he's not talking, obviously, but he showed up to training camp. He's doing his job. He's getting the job done. There's nothing wrong, nothing going on here. So I know what you're going to see is over the next 2 weeks, if Joe Burrow doesn't get signed, there's going to be headline and articles talking about, oh, it's a concern for the Bengals. It's not. It's really not. I think it will get done before training camp ends. It's possible it goes to the season and they get it done during the season. It's possible, right? I don't think so. It's something to get it done in the preseason. I don't think so. I think it gets done before training camp. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.